Lee Kuan Yew was born September 16, 1923 in Singapore. His grandfather had immigrated from China in 1862. Lee Kuan Yew earned a degree from the University of Cambridge. Lee Kuan Yew, whose efficient but often heavy-handed leadership helped transform Singapore from a chaotic British colonial backwater into one of the world's most prosperous and orderly states. He turned Singapore into one of the region's economic tigers. By the time he stepped down after 31 years, he was the longest serving Prime Minister in the world. Lee Kuan Yew, he was a British educated lawyer. He ran a government that was widely regarded as honest and efficient. He ruled the Singapore by censoring the press, harassed political opponents, and turned a blind eye to political mistreatment of suspects. If you think you can hurt me more than I can hurt you, try. There is no other way you can govern a Chinese society. Lee Kuan Yew, dead at 91, will be remembered for lifting millions out of poverty, even if that means micromanaging their life. For 30 years, as Singapore's PM, starting in 1959, he was one of the most successful social engineer in human history. Regarding giving the power to the political masses, he said, "When people say, 'Oh, ask the people,' it's childish rubbish. They say people can think for themselves. Do you honestly believe that the chap who can't pass primary 6 knows the consequences of his choice? When he answers a question on language, culture and religion, we would starve, we would have race riots, we would disintegrate." Regarding prosperity over democracy, he said, "You are talking about Rwanda or Bangladesh or Cambodia or Philippines. They have got democracy. But have you got a civilized life to lead? People want economic development first and foremost. The leaders may talk something else. You take a poll of any people. What is it they want? They write to write an editorial as you like. They want homes, medicine, jobs, school." Regarding opinion polls, I have never been over concerned or obsessed with opinion polls or popularity polls. I think a leader who is a weak leader. Between being loved and being feared, I have always believed Machiavelli was right. If nobody is afraid of me, I am meaningless. Regarding meddling in citizens' private lives, he said, "I am often accused of interfering in the private lives of citizens. Yes, if I did not, had I not done that, we would not be here today. And I say without the slightest remorse that we would not be here, we would not have made economic progress if we had not intervened on very personal matters. Who your neighbor is, how you live, the noise you make, how you spit, or what language you use. We decide what is right, never mind what the people think." Lee Kuan Yew transformed the Singapore into one of the Asia's wealthiest and least corrupt countries. He considered as an efficient, unsentimental, incorrupt, forward-looking and pragmatic. His ruling method include centralized power, clean government and economic liberalization. Mr. Lee enforced national self-improvement campaigns which urge people to do such things as smile, speak good English, flush the toilets, but never to spit, chew gum or throw garbages off balconies. In order to remove the temptation for corruption, Singapore linked the salaries of ministers, judges, and top civil servants to those of leading professionals in the private sector, making them some of the highest paid government officials in the world. Lee Kuan Yew said, "I'm not saying that everything I did was right, but everything I did was for an honorable purpose. I had to do some nasty things, locking fellows up without trial." Singapore was transformed under Lee's leadership into a wealthy finance and manufacturing powerhouse. Singapore has got the low crime, harmony between the Chinese majority and Malay Muslim minority, and almost zero corruption. Singapore is clean and modern, has good education and healthcare. Charlie Munger said, "It is no accident that Singapore has a much better record, given where it started, than the United States. Their power was concentrated in one enormously talented person, Lee Kuan Yew, who was the Warren Buffett of Singapore." Henry Kissinger wrote about Lee Kuan Yew. His vision was of a state that would not simply survive but prevail by excelling. Superior intelligence, discipline, and ingenuity would substitute for resources. When he started, the per capita income was $400, and now it exceeds $50,000. What exactly is the Singapore model? Beyond the crude label of enlightened authoritarianism, what are the philosophical assumptions that underlie the Singaporean approach to governance? The three key elements of Singapore are high modernization, centralized authority, and weak civil society. The history of the world is but the biography of great men. In 94, he was a founder of People's Action Party and was Secretary General up to 1992. He also demonstrates how rewards for behavior works better than punishment. Lee Kuan Yew created the image of Singapore in his own likeness. He is a combination of high intelligence and unwaverable determination, and he transferred them, at least superficially, to modern Singapore. He emphasizes on education, especially in science, helped Singapore develop as a base for multinational. His government was very successful in identifying and fostering growth industries, whether it was the Asia dollar money market, oil exploration, production, and refinery services. He recognized the importance of money making. Money brought power. Lee said, "Are China's leaders serious about displacing the US as Asia's power in the foreseeable future? Of course, why not? Their reawakened sense of destiny is an overpowering force. Will China accept its place within the post order created by the United States? No. It is China's intention to become the greatest power in the world and to be accepted as China, not as an honorary member of the West." Will India match China's rise? Not likely. India is not a real country. Instead, it is 32 separate nations that happen to be arrayed along the British rail line. Westerners have abundant and ethical basis for society, believing that all problems are solved by a good government. In the East, we start with self-reliance. He insisted that if Singapore society was not uniformly clean and green, it would only be the wealthy which could enjoy gracious surrounding. He helped a network of over 300 parks and 4 nature reserves. Lee Kuan Yew created a brand of nationalism, but the difference was that the progress was reflected through achievements and projects, rather than appealing to emotions. The mark of a great leader is to take his society from where it is to where it is never been. Lee Kuan Yew helped attract massive investment and many of the world's biggest companies to Singapore after he became PM in 1959. Lee Kuan Yew argued that Western style democracy wasn't suitable for all nations and that young countries needed stability and economic development before they could afford the luxuries of democracy and personal liberty in a Western mold. GE, Hewlett Packard, and hundreds of Western companies set up regional headquarters in Singapore. Lee was influenced by Confucius and he used the maxims like of thrift, self reliance, respect for elders, education, and social order.